Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry, the minute I hit the record button, I accidentally hit take a picture before I hit record, and it's not that funny. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try to tell a story without getting off topic, but we'll see how that goes. This has been a very lazy day for me, so I thought I might as well tell a story. And hopefully I'll edit this and actually make it a decent video instead of just like posting things onto my YouTube channel that I don't edit, don't watch, and putting really disgusting thumbnails because I feel like my mid-sentence face is really ugly. But anyway, I'm rambling, so let's try to tell a story. I'm kind of like going through a couple stories in my head. I'm not sure which one I want to tell. So, I'm trying to think. I like telling stories about like things that happened like at least this month or this year. This year it seems so long, so I guess I'm gonna talk about my dogs. Actually, that's not really a story, it's more of a topic, but I'll go into my dogs. So, as of about, I believe, 2010, I have had a dog in my life, which, it's been a pretty, like, much the majority of my life. I always had a dog, like a family dog. Like, when I was born, my mom had 2 dogs, and I think she gave them away after that period of my life. Like, I think my brother came into the picture, because I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. I'll get into that in another video probably, but we're talking about dog. We're trying to talk about dogs, so let's see. I've pretty much grown up with dogs. I love dogs. Or what I mean love, like, I'll put some pictures in, go like this and show pictures of dogs, but since I was a kid, I've always loved dogs, and I've always kind of had a dog, like, pretty much as far back as I can remember. Either, like, my grandma had a dog, my mom had a dog, like, there was always kind of dogs around me. My cousin and I used to be next door neighbors, and their dog, Julia, I vividly remember her when I was a kid. I remember my mom always, like, telling me how much she loved dogs and all the dogs she has had in her life, because she used to work at an animal shelter. And I do remember my grandma's dogs, too. They ended up dying, I think when I was about, like, 6, I think they died. I could be wrong about that, but she had 2 dogs, Max and Scooter. Scooter was this black rescue dog that had 1 eye. And then Mac was this small, like, white fluffy dog. I forget what breed he was, but I'm pretty sure they're both rescues. So, yeah. But my first family dog was my dog, Vito. Sadly, he passed away, in July. I believe it was July. And he was my dog from the age, like, we got him at 10 weeks old, and we had him until he was 10 years old. And he was a bulldog, and as much as it is really sad, obviously, that he died at 10, that's actually a pretty good lifespan for a bulldog. Usually they only live for about 10 years, but I do know a lot of people who've had bulldogs that die at, like, 6, 7, whatever, but, like, the breed has a lot of health problems. But that was my first dog. I hear my family. Anyway, so after I got Vito, we had him the longest out of all my dogs, but when he was, I think, 5 or 6, we started fostering this dog named Rocky over the Christmas break. This was in 2015. And we fostered him, and we fell in love with him, and then he became our next dog, and he's a bulldog. We still have him today. He's 5 now, so yeah. And then we had those 2 dogs, and this is where the story kind of gets complicated. But the next dog I had was this dog named Cassidy. My mom's boyfriend actually got her, and she was what we thought she was a pit bull. She ended up being a lab, which we didn't know this until she kind of started getting a lot bigger than we expected, and she was very, 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 very energetic. And we don't have much of a backyard, so we were forced to get rid of Cassidy when she was about, I'm gonna say 8 months old. She went into heat, which was this whole big thing. I've never had a female dog before her, so it was this really, it was bad. And right after that was over, we had to get rid of her. And I was devastated. I think I can put a picture right here of my last picture I had with her, but I was devastated. I'd never gotten rid of a dog before. I was really, really attached to her, and it was this whole big thing. So then a year later, my mom, we go to her shop, and she has this, what I think is a hamster, like, in her hand. It was the smallest thing I've ever seen in my life. And this ends up being my dog, Nico, who we have now. He's 3 or 4 years old, and I think he's 4. And I was very, very mad about getting this dog, because I had missed Cassidy so much, and then just to have Nico, and I wasn't used to having a small dog, and he was only like 2 pounds. We got him, he was so tiny. And that ended up getting me onto this like Pomeranian journey. Eventually I started warming up to Nico. I now walk him like all the time, and he actually sleeps in my bed a lot. And then during some of my college lectures, he'll be like napping in my bed, and like people in my English class see him all the time. So yeah, that's my dog Nico. So then after that, my mom's boyfriend ended up getting another dog, and this is a dog that my mom was gonna have him live with, like not live with us. And she was a Pomeranian, she's a girl, and her name is Stella. And when we got Stella, the first couple months, sorry, I got interrupted by some family members, ironically enough. The minute I opened my door, 4 of my dogs came in. Now, you're probably wondering, oh my god, 4? Let me get down to explaining. So, after we got Stella, basically what happened was my mom's store, which she had in Maryland, it was where her ex-boyfriend, or boyfriend at the time, lived, it closed because of COVID. So he came back to live with us, and we had Stella, and we had Nico. And this is where the story gets a little interesting. Stella started getting a little bit fatter, and she was hanging out with Nico a lot, and I knew immediately she's pregnant, because Nico hadn't been neutered yet because he was 4 pounds, and we were worried that like he could die under anesthesia, and he was just so tiny, and we had no reason to neuter him at the time because we didn't have any girl dogs until we had Stella. And because of the, you know, basically the quarantine and everything, none of the vets were really open unless for emergencies. So we finally take Stella to the vet when it starts opening up again, and we find out she's pregnant. And not only is she pregnant, she's pregnant with twins. That's right. So at this point, we have Vito, Rocky, the 2 bulldogs. We have Nico, a Pomeranian. Stella, who barely is our dog. Like, she's really my mom's boyfriend's dog at this time. And now we're going to have 2 more puppies. And a week later, they came, and we had to build a whelping box. We had to learn all these things. Like, I've never had puppies before. Like, I'm a dog lover. I've always loved dogs. But the youngest dog I've ever had was 10 weeks. Like, and it originally got Vito. He was 10 weeks. But he was, you know, big. Like, he was a bulldog puppy. It's not the same as having Pomeranian puppies who were a couple ounces when they were born. They fit in the palm of my hand. And we ended up naming them, it was 2 girls, Coco and Chanel. So about 2 weeks into Coco and Chanel being alive, my dog Vito died. And it was pretty unexpected. He wasn't sick or anything. Actually, my mom had a friend over, and I had saw Vito at like about 9:30, and he looked a little lethargic, but he slept all the time. He was a 10-year-old bulldog. So I kissed him on the head, and I went upstairs, and about 11 o'clock at night, my brother goes downstairs, and he thinks Vito's dead. So he comes back upstairs, brings my mom's friend down there, and they kind of confirm that he was dead. And besides losing Cassidy, and that was a little bit different, obviously, we gave her a different family. I know she's obviously alive still, but losing Vito was pretty devastating for me because I had him through every milestone of my life. Like, I couldn't even imagine a time I didn't have him in my life, you know? I was about 8 when we got him, so it's like, I just lost it. I was sobbing. We had to take him, it was like the middle of the night, like it was 11:30. My mom's friend and my brothers, you know, brought Vito's body to the car. We wrapped him in a sheet, and we drove to the emergency vet. We had to go to the front, like, desk with our mask on and basically say that our dog had died. And it's pretty hard having a mask on when you're crying, because like it was pretty visible. I was very upset. There was like snot dripping out of my nose. It was this whole big thing. And that was it. Then, you know, 2 weeks later, we got his ashes, and we got an imprint of his snout and his paw print. I still can't look at it. But then we still had 5 dogs. Like, we had gone from, before the quarantine, having 3 dogs to having 6, now having 5. And that's what we're staying with right now. I have the 2 puppies, Coco and Chanel. They're now about 4 months old. I'm going to insert pictures and videos at the end of this to kind of show you what they look like, but they're my babies. And as much as I am obviously still grieving for Vito, I was able to kind of open up my heart to these puppies, and Stella ended up being our dog because my mom's, you know, ex-boyfriend never got his own place, and my mom's in love with Stella, so now we have Rocky. So I'll insert a picture here. We have Rocky, Nico, Stella, Coco, and Chanel. And at this point, my mom, she gets a little bit annoyed because Coco and Chanel do bark a lot, and, you know, they're babies. But, you know, I get worried because she says, like, you know, what if we had to get rid of them? And she says she's not going to do that. And since I'm 18 now, like, obviously I'm in college right now. I'm supposed to be physically there. I'm going to be physically there next semester. But I told my mom that I would take Chanel when I get my own place. Like, obviously when I'm not in college, I said I'd take Chanel or Coco or both. I feel like it would be hard to separate them because they've been with each other their entire lives. And obviously it's, you know, it's hard to say that we can get rid of, like, Stella or something because, you know, Stella and Nico are madly in love with each other. It's very cute. Well, Nico loves Stella. Stella can be a little mean to Nico, to be honest. And Nico's the smallest of the actual Pomeranian family. Nico's 4 pounds, Stella's 9 pounds. And the babies are, I think Coco's about 7 pounds and Chanel is 8. But Chanel, so they're identical twins almost. Like, there actually is some differences in their face, and I can kind of show you that maybe in a video. I'll introduce them to the camera, but it's hard because they are pretty young and they jump all over me. But Coco has a face that kind of looks like a fox, whereas Chanel has a little bit more, like, of darker features, and she's very long. And to kind of put it in perspective, so they're all teacup Pomeranians, so, I mean, big. Like, it's hard to say big when you're looking at a teacup Pomeranian. Like, the biggest out of all of them is Stella, and she's 9 pounds, and she's not big at all if you look at her compared to my dog Rocky, who's about 90 pounds. But yeah, so that's kind of an explanation of how many dogs I have and how it's kind of progressed throughout the years. I hope in the future too, like, if I end up not taking Chanel and Coco or whatever happens, like when I have my own place, I would love to get a French bulldog. I would love to get a black and white one from like a pound or a shelter, and I would love to name it like Oreo. I feel like that'd be such a cute name. And it's weird because I'm used to having dogs now, so like moving into my dorm soon, it's gonna be weird not having dogs around me all the time because I mean, I've grown up around dogs. I love dogs so much, and I pretty much love all animals. Like, I used to have turtles. We got turtles from Chinatown when I was younger, but they only last like a couple years. There's not really the same as a dog, obviously, but I do love turtles, and maybe I'll make a video about my obsession with turtles some other day. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. My explanation of my dog family, and I hope you enjoyed this slideshow at the end of this video. I'm probably going to insert obviously some pictures throughout the video, but I think I'm going to put like a slideshow of all my dogs and the explanation, like little bios, I guess, of all of them. So yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for listening, and wherever you are, I hope you have a good day, afternoon, or night, and thanks for watching my channel. Bye!